Atomic Habits: An Easy and Proven Way to Build Good Habits and Break Bad Ones by James Clear. 10-minute book summaries by the empowered leader. Atomic Habits gives you a reliable and successful approach to forming good habits and getting rid of bad ones. It's based on scientific studies and real-world stories, and it explains how even tiny changes in behavior can lead to creating new habits and helping you accomplish great things. If you want to stay up to date on our latest videos, make sure to like and subscribe to the Empowered Leader channel. We would also love to hear what books you'd like us to summarize. Leave your vote in the comments. Find out how even the smallest of habits can make a huge difference in your life. Do you want to make a positive change in your life? Eating healthier, reading more books, learning a new language, or mastering the clarinet are all great goals, but it can be hard to make and stick to them. That's where habits come in. In this book, I'll take you through the key ideas from James Clear's Atomic Habits, which explains that you don't need to revolutionize your behavior or reinvent yourself to make big changes. Tiny changes to your behavior, repeated over and over, can lead to big results. Key insight number 1. Surprisingly, even the smallest of habits can have a big effect on your life. Have you ever heard of a plane taking off from Los Angeles and ending up in Washington, D.C. instead of New York City? It sounds like something out of a movie, but it's actually quite possible. All it takes is a slight change in the flight path, just a few degrees, and the plane could end up in a completely different place. It's the same with our lives. We make small choices every day, but they can have a big impact over time. For example, if you have a pizza for dinner every night, you won't become overweight overnight, but after a year you'll definitely notice a difference. Or if you go for a 20-minute jog every day, you won't magically become fit, but eventually you will see results. It's easy to become discouraged when we don't see the impact of our efforts right away. But if we focus on our current trajectory, rather than our current results, we can stay motivated. For example, if you are saving a little bit of money each month, your current results might not seem great, but you can be confident that you're heading in the right direction. So, how do you get yourself on the right trajectory? You need to develop habits. Key insight number 2. Habits are behaviors we've learned through experience that we now do automatically. Have you ever noticed that when you walk into a dark room, you don't think twice about what to do next? You instinctively reach for the light switch, like it's a habit. That's because it is. Habits are behaviors that we repeat so often that they become automatic. We do them without thinking, from brushing our teeth to driving our car. But have you ever wondered how these habits are formed? In the 19th century, a psychologist named Edward Thorndike tried to answer this question. He placed cats inside a black box and timed how long it took them to escape. At first, they scrambled around desperately, but after a few attempts, they quickly went straight for the lever that opened the door. After 20 or 30 attempts, the average cat could escape in just 6 seconds. Thorndike had discovered that behaviors that give satisfying consequences, like gaining freedom, tend to be repeated until they become automatic. We now know that habits are made up of 4 distinct elements: a cue, a craving for a change in state, a response, and a reward. For example, when you wake up, it cues you to feel alert. Your response is to get up and make a cup of coffee, and your reward is feeling wide awake. Key insight number 3. Forming new habits takes some planning and reminders that are hard to miss. We've just discovered how habits are formed and how to use them to our advantage. To recap, a habit consists of 4 things: a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. And by using implementation intentions, we can make it easier to form positive habits. To demonstrate this, let's look at an experiment conducted by Dr. Anne Thorndike. She rearranged the cafeteria in a hospital to make it easier for people to choose healthier options. And it worked. Over 3 months, soda sales fell by 11% and water sales shot up by over 25%. So, it's clear that changing our environment can help us form better habits. Key insight number 4. Anticipating a reward can really motivate us, so if you make your habits more appealing, you're more likely to stick to them. Halfway through our exploration of atomic habits, we've looked at how powerful habits are, how they are made, and how you can use habit cues to your advantage. Now, let's talk about how we can use rewards to build positive habits. Back in 1954, neuroscientists James Olds and Peter Milner ran an experiment to study the neuroscience behind desire. They blocked the release of the neurotransmitter dopamine in some rats, and the results were shocking. The rats lost the will to live and died of thirst just a few days later. This experiment showed us just how crucial dopamine is for motivation. When we do something beneficial for our survival, like eating, drinking, or having sex, dopamine is released and we feel good. This feeling of pleasure motivates us to do the beneficial action again and again. So, what does this have to do with habit building? Well, we don't have to actually do the pleasurable activity to get the dopamine hit. Just the anticipation of doing something pleasurable is enough to get the dopamine flowing. That's why temptation bundling can be so helpful when building new habits. Key insight number 5. If you're looking to form a new habit, try to make it as simple as possible to get into the routine. Making habits stick can be a challenge, but there are a few tricks we can use to make it easier. For example, we can reduce the friction involved in the behavior, or use the 2-minute rule. Let's start with reducing friction. Take the example of greeting cards. James Clear is hopeless at sending them, but his wife never misses an occasion. Why? She keeps a box of cards at home, pre-sorted by occasion. This makes it way easier to remember to send a card, and removes the need to go out and buy one. We can also increase friction to kill bad habits. For example, if you want to watch less TV, unplug it and take the batteries out of the remote. This will make it more difficult to switch it on, and you'll only watch when you really want to. The 2-minute rule is another great way to make habits easier. This means breaking any behavior down into something that can be done in 2 minutes. So if you want to read more, commit to reading 2 pages per night. Or if you want to run a marathon, commit to simply putting on your running gear after work. Once you've started, you'll likely continue. Key insight number 6. Having immediate rewards for your habits can help you stick to the changes you want to make. Let's talk about the last rule for using habits to improve your life. It's a story about a very successful public health researcher named Stephen Luby. Back in the 1990s, he worked in a neighborhood of Karachi, Pakistan, and was able to reduce diarrhea, pneumonia, and skin infection rates by a huge percentage. His secret? Nice soap. Luby knew that hand washing and basic sanitation were essential, but the locals weren't following through. So, he worked with Procter & Gamble to introduce a premium soap into the neighborhood for free. Suddenly, everyone was washing their hands because it was now a pleasing activity. This illustrates the most important rule for behavioral change: habits need to be satisfying. Humans evolved to cope with an immediate return environment, so it can be difficult to make good behaviors satisfying. To help, the author knows a couple who wanted to eat out less, cook more, get healthier, and save money. To give their objectives a little immediate return kick, they opened a savings account called Trip to Europe. Every time they avoided a meal out, they transferred $50 to the account. The short-term satisfaction of seeing $50 land in that savings. Key insight number 7. Develop a system to help you stay on top of your habits by using trackers and agreements. So, have you ever thought about setting yourself a habit contract? It's a great way to make sure you stick to your good intentions. Benjamin Franklin was a fan of habit tracking, and you can follow in his footsteps by using a simple calendar or diary. Every day you stick to your chosen behaviors, you can cross it off. This will give you a sense of satisfaction and keep you motivated. If you want to take it one step further, you can make a contract with someone you trust and set penalties for not doing what you agreed to. That way, you'll be even more likely to stay on track and reach your goals. Final thoughts. Wow, so that's what we've learned. It's not about making big changes all at once, it's about building positive habits that will eventually lead to major changes. And the best way to start? Habit stacking. Try taking something you already do and adding a new habit to it. For example, if you want to start meditating, try doing it each morning after you've finished your coffee. That way, you can use the momentum of the existing habit to help you stick to the new one. If you want to live a long, happy and healthy life, it's important to eat well and get plenty of exercise. But that's not all. You also need to find a purpose that drives you each and every day. This will help you focus your energy and extend your years on Earth. To make the most of life, try to embrace the concept of wabi-sabi. This Japanese belief teaches that imperfection can be beautiful. Let go of the need for perfection and accept the beauty of life's imperfections. This will help you feel more energized, less stressed, and enjoy a longer life. Discover how the Japanese culture can help you live a long, happy life with Ikigai. Check out the Empowered Leader 10-minute summary of Ikigai by Hector Garcia Puigcerver and Francis Morales. In this book, you'll uncover the secrets of longevity that the Japanese have known for years, and learn why so many people from one particular island live to be over 100 years old. Do you like our 10-minute book summaries? Like, subscribe and check out more videos from the Empowered Leader. Let us know your favorite leadership and motivation books in the comments section.